Okay. That's more than enough time, I believe. I am full up on BFG ammo. I hope I don't have to use too many rounds in this next area. How many secrets have I got? One more. Which I think is in here. Yeah, there it is right there. That's the secret area. I've just got to look around here somewhere to find the... There it is. And this in itself is another challenge that I can get through. So I've got 2 of the challenges done here. What was the third one? Killed 2 barons with 1 shot. That might be a bit touch and go. But we'll see what happens. Rich Get Richer is only one armor fill away from getting to 75%. If I could get that, I would be chuffed. I strongly doubt that that's going to be the case, though, unfortunately. We're going to pull up just short. Alright, here we go. This is the last skirmish of the game. It's going to start with a bit of a bang, I suppose. Because we've got all this sort of shit to deal with. I'm hoping I don't take too much damage early on here, because I kind of want to get across over to here. There's a quad damage that I can take if I need it. I'm going to try not to take it until a little bit later on, because... I mean, it's about the amount of damage I end up taking early on. Because if I can keep my damage minimum, I won't feel anywhere near as pressured to grab the quad damage. And would you believe it, I actually got the Rich Get Richer upgrade. Because I took some damage, and then that, whatever the hell that was, the upgrade that let me get armor drops from glory kills, got me back up to full. So, that's basically how that works. If you're full, and then you take like 1 point of armor damage, and then you get it back, that counts as filling your armor up to full. So, I have the Rich Get Richer 2 upgrade now, and that means that my infinite ammo will stay infinite until I fall below 75 armor instead of the original 100. Let's just BFG. The enemies are probably bloody spread out too much, and I don't want to have to fucking deal with that sort of shit. Alright, Pinky's dead. I'm getting so much good use out of this 3-round burst. It's amazing. I'm actually kicking myself for not realizing just how good this is. Because dealing with these guys is actually really not that difficult. I actually plan on doing a nightmare playthrough of this once I'm done here. Having the 3-round burst to deal with these guys early on is actually going to make the early game, that early game area around about the foundry and just after that a lot easier until I can get a better weapon. Because I'm just spamming the shit out of this thing. That was just fucking beautiful. I'm going to chalk that one up to glitches. Come on. Come on. No, don't think so. Glory kills. Time to focus on some glory kills. Get whatever armor I can up. Oh shit. Damn it. Nah. I blew those rockets up right in my face. That annoys me. I blew those rockets up right in my face and just took far too much damage. I actually took my eye off my health counter for... I'm not even sure. Whatever. I'll keep going. I was considering just cutting it out, but fuck it. I felt like it was a bit of a waste of time though, because I was killing enemies, but I just wasn't really killing them quick enough, I guess. But again, it's a matter of damage, and I actually... Oh no. No. See, I've already taken... Like, considering how early into this I am, taking this amount of damage just won't do. It just will not do. I like how those two enemies spawned in the exact same spot and were just sort of inside each other. It would also be very beneficial if my rocket launcher was into the 3-round burst mode, because that's what screwed me over. Because I can't just look at my keyboard because it's buried underneath my freaking blanket, so that God damn it. Why didn't you die? Yeah. Fucking... If not for the fact that my rockets are infinite at the moment, I'd be a bit salty at that. Just trying to focus as much as I possibly can right now, because I do not want to die again, because then I'm going to have to start cutting even more shit out, and then it's just going to be fucking annoying beyond recognition. So a bit more focus, and I should be right. As long as I keep my armor up and take whatever opportunity I can to get glory kills in, as long as it keeps my armor above that 75. 75 is that magic number. If I had the upgrade to this, I'd be able to aim at the 3 different imps that are around the place, and it would be easier to get rid of them. So much easier. But at the same time, focusing 3 rounds on just this one big fella is not that far removed. Alright, BFG Blast. That gets rid of both of those. Come on. Fuck it. Nah, I actually should not have said... Actually, I got all 3 challenges. I got all 3 challenges in the last level. Great success. Are we done with this area? We actually are. So again, a waste of quad damage. And in this case, I actually don't even need it for a health refill, so... That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. That's a bit better. I had to focus just a little bit there and make sure I didn't get myself fucked over. But just now trying to gather up what resources I can, because that was, as I said at the top of this first attempt at the skirmish, the last actual monster fight of the game. There's just the final boss left. Alright, I've got 1 BFG round left. I think there's only the 1 here that I can pick up, so I'm not going to go in with the full capacity of BFG rounds. I'm not going to fuss that much about it though, in all honesty. I've actually got enough armor so that I have infinite ammo going into it, but oh well, we'll have to see what happens. Now, what in the name of shit fuck was that? Clearly, there is only one way to find out the answer to the question. Also, I like how this is, like, searing hot, but I guess it's just not, like, lava that I can sink in or something like that. Not that you can really sink in lava to begin with, because apparently it's not, like, apparently you're not dense enough. The human body's not dense enough because of all the water in it. That you'll just float on lava for the half a second that you're floating on lava before you just explode. So, here we are. Here's our mates who we betrayed in that non-existent RPG-based game that's I would like to have, or a prequel to this game, but would kind of piss a lot of fans off. I mean, it'd be nice, but whatever. Okay, so all 3 of the wraiths have had their energy sort of taken or whatever, so the well is pretty much gone. There's just a matter of dealing with whatever the hell it is down here. So, let's go ahead and jump down. I sure as hell hope you didn't miss her, because...
promised me so much.
She fell under that same trap Doom guy fell in. making a deal to give away your shit, and then you get power, or whatever. You get a great desire. Hers, I guess, was to become a not spider. Or did she just like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that much and just decided that she wanted Krang to exist in real life? Point is, your Spider Mastermind is of course going to be your final boss for this game, unsurprisingly. This laser attack can go fuck itself, by the way. One of many attacks that this bitch has, along with the obligatory cannon that's not a chain gun anymore. There is of course a melee attack if you get too close. That laser attack's actually a bit more obnoxious than you might think. Yeah, she likes to jump around the place. Of course, it's getting good use out of her thing here, out of her legs. Then there's just this, where she just flips upside down and just runs like this. I think she's got a tendency to lead her shots as well with that. So with this boss fight, you really want to keep your BFG blasts saved for when you run out of ammo. I mean health even, because then you got to deal with that sort of shit, and that's just some grade A bullcrap. Hitting her with that, and just lets you drop all that sort of good stuff and get your health back. She's got another attack, which we will see soon. Let me actually switch mods here. Oh shit. Yeah, those mines are usually not that big of a deal because you're just far enough away from her that they won't really matter that much. This is the annoying one because you got to get off the ground. This is a good time to actually hit her with a BFG blast as well if you're low on health. Come on, chain gun. Overheated, yay. Now I think there's at least one more BFG blast. Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't want to go on, you don't want to stand on those when she does that because it causes them to become untrottable, like those onions in the fucking smelly piece of cheese in Cloud Cuckoo Land. Oh crap, baskets. Damn it. Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. That was bad. Because okay, so with the siege mode, I guess I just have that much force that it blows the platform that I'm standing on into pieces, and then by the time I got back up on there, she'd already generated the spikes from those platforms, and that just sort of fucked my shit, because I literally had nowhere to stand. Didn't matter where I stood. I would have just died anyway. Okay. So, there's 2 BFG blasts on either side of the room. I've got the 2 on me, so that gives me 4 total to work with. And the idea is to try to avoid damage. Mines are not at all that difficult to get to dodge. Oh yeah, there's what looks like some kind of like her own version of siege mode, isn't it really? For the plasma, for the Gauss cannon. Oh, keep away from her, because she'll hurt you with that melee attack. It's nowhere near as savage as the Cyber Demons, but she kind of has to be even deadlier than the bloody Cyber Demon, given she's the last boss of the game. But yeah, when that happens, when she shakes up a shitstorm like that, she's in a bit of a pickle. So let's go ahead and BFG now. Rock chain gun. Yeah, when that happens, causes all of the health to come spraying out of her. So there's a pro tip for you. Let's quickly switch to the scope or whatever the hell it is. Once you've worked out how to dodge that laser, it's really like almost no threat whatsoever. Come on. Give me all of your health. Damn it. Why'd you have to overheat? Oh, those health vials, what I wouldn't give to be able to sneak around and get those. Come on. Stop crouching. I like how one of those is a 50. Boom. And then pump that fully. Pump you for that. Now I believe that is about it. Yeah, because she's pretty much fucked at this point. All we gotta do is switch into this. And she's gonna sit there in the middle. She's just gonna try to... She's gonna do that. That's one of her other attacks. It's just telekinetically taking those platforms. She's gonna keep firing her lasers and shit like that and try to kill you with that. Here for you, it's just entirely a matter of pumping her full of everything you got. That's pretty much what it is. And hoping to God you don't die before she fucks your shit up. Shame I didn't get that double trouble mastery though, now that I think about it. And I do believe that that is about it. Is that it? Ladies and gentlemen, that is game, set, and match. The Spider Mastermind has only one thing left to serve, one purpose left to serve in this game, and that is the obligatory glory, coup de grace of glory, which is just shove the big gun in her mouth and unload whatever sexual innuendos you possibly can, and you will get 3 achievements for it. The achievement for beating the boss, the achievement for beating the game on any difficulty other than Ultra Nightmare, and if you've been following this playthrough like I, as a bit of a walkthrough, you'll have also received the Gold Guy collectible by beating her. That is the last collectible of the game, and you will get an achievement for collecting all of those.
You've won. It's over. You stopped the invasion and closed the portal. But it's come at a price. Argent, Vega, this entire operation. You see, I've watched you work. Come to understand your motivation. You think the only way is to kill them all, leave nothing behind. And you may be right. But we can't just shut it all down. Without Argent energy, it will be worse. I don't expect you to agree. But with this, we can continue our work. I am not the villain in this story. I do what I do because there is no choice.
Rerouting tethered coordinates complete.
Our time is up. I can't kill you, but I won't have you standing in our way. Until we see each other again.
And so with you being sent off to parts unknown, that brings to the end. That brings us to the end of Doom 2016. So obviously, there's almost certainly going to be a sequel. When are we going to find out about it? Look, my personal opinion is if they're going to make a Rage 2, they will probably end up focusing on that, unless they just decide that this game has garnered enough popularity to put it ahead of Rage 2. Either way, I'm not that fast. I'd like to see either game I'd like to see. And this credits scroll is actually freaking awesome, although the Cyberdemon here is not in the correct room. So, yeah, fix that up with your dipsticks. So that's about it. A lot of people even give also Sean Bean. Sean Bean. Beautiful. Let me just move the mouse out of the way. I didn't think that'd be in the way. But, yeah, a lot of people give this... I mean, if you give the multiplayer a bit of crap, that's understandable. It's not perfect. It's kind of... The impression I got from the multiplayer was very much like Aggron. Because, I mean, you take Rock type and Steel type. They're good defensive types. They're pretty solid defensive types. You put them together, and the results kind of subpar. That's kind of like what Doom multiplayer is like. It's taking the loadout sort of stuffs from Halo, Call of Duty and stuff like that and mixing it into an arena shooter style. It's throwing it into arena shooter style maps, like the Quakes and stuff like that. You think you're taking the best of both worlds, but you're putting them together and you find out you're not really going to get Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. That's what the multiplayer was about. The single player, though, is absolutely biblical. Anybody who gives a crap about the single player generally doesn't like it because of the linearity. In retrospect, like, there's a lot of areas for you to explore, but take those areas out, and the only levels that are still only not linear are the Foundry and the Ardent Facility afterward. Most of the others are generally just sort of a straight-ish line. You sort of have a set path that you need to progress with a whole bunch of other little secrets and bonuses and shit like that that you can have a look in. So, is it fair to call it a linear game? Not really. A lot of I've heard people say that the combat in this game is tedious as well. Honestly, if you're bringing yourself to say that, then you've probably not played the Shadow Warrior remake, because that's the one game that's the one game I've always tried to compare this game to, was Shadow Warrior. The combat is similar, but it's a lot faster, and there's a whole lot more. It's not a matter of just, like with most enemies, you can get rid of them with the correct gun, and within like 1 or 2 shots. Shadow Warrior, yeah, it tried to focus a lot more on increasing the strength of your sword, and by the time your sword was an indestructible fort-wrecking ball of nature, you were already at the final freaking stretch. And the combat in that, aside from that, is like you're using a whole bunch of guns, but they're not really putting out that much damage. While I do give the shotgun in this game crap for being reasonably weak, it's actually far better than most of the weapons in Shadow Warrior could ever possibly hope to be. That's the problem with Shadow Warrior, is because you're dealing with enemies that just take too much shit to kill, and you're having to deal with clusters and clusters and clusters of them. Levels in that game can take upwards of an hour to beat. Levels in this game can be done in as quickly as 30 minutes. 30 minutes, that's about it for a level. Compared to about an hour, that's quite substantial. The combat is very much more fast-paced in this. It keeps you active. It keeps you on your feet. It keeps you... You can't go to sleep. You can't fall asleep even for a moment. You can't stop moving. With Shadow Warrior, you're obviously going to get your shit punched if you stop moving, but ceasing all movement doesn't necessarily get you killed, because of how slow the enemies are and how slow all the shit is. Most of the enemies are melee based, which makes sense because you start off with a samurai sword, so you're going to end up using that a lot more often, and the whole focus of the game is around a samurai sword broken up into 3 pieces. So it's going to be a lot slower, it's going to be a lot more tedious, and it's going to be very fucking boring. That's why I don't see myself ever really LPing Shadow Warrior, because it's just going to be far too tedious, and the recordings are just going to be too long, and it's just going to be some bullshit. So I'm just going to proceed to drop a big fuck no onto LPing that game. I do have hopes for Shadow Warrior 2 though. I'm hoping that might be a bit of a better game, might be a bit faster and whatnot, but we'll just have to see. As for this game though, there's not really much I can fault it for, other than I guess the weapons could possibly do a little bit more damage, but that's really just a minor gripe with me. The enemies were quite easily very well designed. They were pretty savage. I still maintain the Imp is just the offspring of Krillin and Melina. I will tell you right now, the Baron of Hell is easily my favourite redesign of them all. It's very faithful to the original, and is just absolutely beastly. They just took the original thing, just gave it a bunch of steroids and say, here, try fucking fighting this fucking thing one-on-one. It was that beastly. Someone made a Five Nights at Freddy's inspired map where you've got a fucking Baron of Hell trying to bloody hunt you down. and I actually quite enjoyed the video that I watched of that map because it was actually kind of fucking awesome. So anyways, these credits are just boring as all hell, so I'm just going to bring us back to this opening main menu, I suppose. The one thing I didn't show off that I probably could was maybe Snap Map, but I'm not really going to care that much about it. If you really want to check out Snap Map, you can get the game yourself. It's on PC, it's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation 4. I'm sure you can quite easily pick it up and try out some of the maps yourself. They'll be enjoyable. I'm not really huge on trying out different Snap Maps, but I might try it if I get a bit bored. But overall, I think at the end of the day, you have to try to not compare this to its predecessors. Unless it's in, aside from the obligatory areas where you kind of have to, you have to try to not consider it as it trying to be the old Doom. It's just trying to be its own Doom, like its very own Doom. And that I think I'm quite okay with. And so that's why I was very, very hyped for this game ever since I first heard announcements of it back in 2007. It was definitely well worth the pre-order. I'd have loved to have gotten the Revenant statue that came with the collector's edition pack or whatever the hell. I just pre-ordered it a bit too late, so it is what it is. So I do believe that is about it. Obviously, at the time of me recording this, I still have to do the last two classic maps, but as of you seeing this, this is the end of the LP. I hope that you enjoyed watching it. I feel like I'm learning a lot more about how I do my LPs with each LP that I do recently. I've found out that this keyboard's a piece of bloody shit. And I find that I keep saying and a bit too much, but I'll get used to that eventually. I may just start doing post-commentary LPs in the future, so we'll have to see what happens. Whether I start Quake next week or whatever, I'm not entirely sure. I might take a week off. I might take the rest of the month off because RuneScape has double XP weekend. I've got no idea. I'm just rambling on as usual, but that shouldn't surprise anybody because that's kind of what I do at the end of any segment, let alone the end of an LP. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this LP as much as I enjoyed making it. It was actually pretty good, aside from the parts where I kind of got a bit triggered, but for the most part, I didn't really have to throw out any old, crummy, shitty commentary recordings or anything like that. I usually was just able to keep up with that, so that is about it. See you for whatever it is that I do in the future.